Okay, so I heard that doing Google Hangouts and things like that was changed. So I tried to follow the quote unquote new way, but the way that I've been doing it is working just fine. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I know I'm like 9 minutes behind, so I do apologize. I should have just been doing it the way that I've always been doing it. So first I want to start by doing recognition. So last week on our Google Hangout, I had picked our person who's getting the training CD. And if you have earned a training CD, I had gotten a bunch from seminar and was going to record like duplicates of them and totally lost them, but I found them. So those will be going out this week. And Nicole Wassmer is going to be getting her training CD on Wednesday night. I have a bunch of prizes that I'm bringing on Wednesday night from the August challenges as well. So if you're there, hooray, you'll get to hear who's getting those prizes. And then if you earned a prize and you don't go to the St. Pete meeting, that's totally fine. I'll pop those in the mail. So we also want to make sure that we're remembering, I feel like I'm slanted here. Sorry, I'm on my couch today because I was trying to figure this out super quick. We are now having our new website. It's almost forgot, Tia Sherman, so TIASHERMAN .wix.com/spark, and the password is Ignite. So when you go on there, it's still a work in progress, so give me some grace on it. But you're going to go to Ways to Win and submit for your $100 days, your bookings for the week, and your shares that you are doing. So those are up now and ready for you to enter and submit. And we have had several of you get $100 days, and we've had, I'm sure, lots of bookings on the books. So just make sure that you are getting entered to get that recognition for sure at the end of the month. Also, Star Quarter ends on the 15th, so we have a few days left for you to push through to get that star in and finish that star level so you can get all of the perks of being a star consultant. Remember, that means you get the online orders from the company. When someone goes directly to marykay.com and places an order, whatever your zip code is, they will send those customers directly to you. You also get on a zip code search to be the first one up, or like the top, tier of people, so they're not scrolling page after page to find you. You're also going to obviously get those prizes from the company, which are amazing. I'm wearing my star prize from a couple quarters ago, which was the watch. And you are going to be able to be invited to our star party, which is on the 16th. So that's this Friday at the Melting Pot at 7 p.m. And right now, Jennifer and Sarah are able to join us. So those of you who are like very close of being a star, if you want to join us and you're planning on finishing that star, then go ahead and make sure you get that in by 10 o'clock on the 15th. If it's after that, you want to make sure you let me know so that I can make sure that, just double check that those orders are in and have gone through. And then we are going to go ahead and get started real quick because I don't want to go over on your time. I want to be respectful to that. And so today we're going to be talking about something that I think is very practical and something that maybe we maybe think that we're doing, or we assume that we're doing it one way, but maybe just tweaking it here or there will help you. And that's going to be to basically maximize your wins at a party. And so I've done some tweaking to my skincare classes that I've done to help kind of generate everything that I want out of a party. Even if it's a $0 party, I want to make sure that I'm maximizing all of the other aspects of that party, not just the sales, so that I can get my biggest bang for my buck, so to speak, as far as the time that I'm putting in. And so I'm going to touch on a lot of elements as far as what goes into a party, but where my focus is going to be for today's training is going to be on the end of our party. So typically at a party, we have the beginning of the party, the middle of the party, and then the end of the party. And really, sorry, just making sure everybody got the link. But it starts before that. It starts before the party even starts. And so, of course, we do the booking. We get the party on the books. But then after that, we don't just sit back and do nothing. We coach the party. And so I'm going to be updating the website here later on tonight. And I'm going to be putting a bunch of the stuff that I'm talking about on the site during under the Party Central. But the first thing is tracking and coaching that party. And so that's like a whole other training in and of itself, but you do want to make sure that you are coaching those parties. And so for me, coaching those parties, I developed this tracking like sheet, so to speak, and it takes you through all of the elements that you need, including what goes in like the hostess goodie bags and things like that. And so I love being able to track those parties. But one way that I do that is through using Red Stamp, not tracking, but coaching, is through using Red Stamp. So if you don't have that app, it's perfectly free and you can download that. And it's basically creating picture invites for your customers. And so what I do is I create the little picture invite with all of the information of the party, and I send that out to the hostess, and then the hostess sends that out to her guests. But one element in that is that the guests RSVP to me, so I'm able to keep track of that guest list, coach the guests as well as the hostess on maximizing, getting them to bring more people, figuring out what their skin type is like, and pre-profiling them and all of that. So I keep track of that. I keep track of just basically every part of a party in that tracking system. So again, that's like a separate training, but pull that up once it gets uploaded and take a look at it. Because what I found is when I'm doing that and I'm coaching the parties, number one, I'm going to have more people there, and it's actually going to have a better chance of actually holding. But if something happens with the hostess, and if it's a party where I'm bringing them to my house or I'm bringing them to the studio or something like that, I still have all the guests that I can contact. And another thing that I like about that is, let's say I had a guest RSVP and we know 2 days before the party, we ask for the guest count and they say that there's 6 people coming, but then the day of there's only 3 people coming. Well, where did the other 3 people go? If we did not have them RSVP us, we have no way of contacting or getting in touch with those other 3 guests to potentially have them as faces and put the product on. Whereas if they did RSVP to us and then for some reason that day they don't show up, I have their contact information to where I can call them and book them for their own appointment after the fact. So I love, love, love coaching. Now, aside from coaching before the party, we need to make sure that we are in the right mindset. So if you are having like the worst day ever or whatever, there's all this stuff going on and you are so overwhelmed with things and it's just like weighing on you, when you go into that party, if you haven't done something to kind of have a mind shift, that is going to carry over into the party. And so even though you do everything 100% by the book, like perfect, if you aren't in that positive thinking and having that right kind of mindset, your results might not be there. And so we need to make sure that whenever I go to a party, I do not just listen to any kind of music that I want. I'm usually listening to an upbeat song, as far as something that's very inspirational. So the Rise song by Katy Perry, that's a song that I love to listen to. Also, there's honestly, I forget what the title is, but it's like Song of a Champion or something like that. And it's basically affirmations from played to music. And so I play that, or I listen to the $1 Million Message on my way to a party, and just really, or some kind of Mary Kay training video or YouTube, something that has to do with Mary Kay or something that has to do with getting me pumped up and being positive, not listening to like, death metal or something like that that's going to bring me down, but something that's upbeat. Also, I'm going to make sure that I'm giving myself plenty of time before showing up to that party because I don't want to look like a frazzled hot mess and walk in the door 2 minutes late. I always show up to my parties 15 to 20 minutes early, but to be honest, I might have already been in that neighborhood 10 minutes before that. And so there have been times where I have sat at the end of the street in my car, fixing my makeup and doing the last minute touch-ups that I need to do, and then coming to that party, giving myself that enough time to prepare and just be there without feeling like I'm rushed. And I mean, God forbid if there was ever like an accident or something like that and you did show up late, of course, you would know to contact the hostess and all of that good stuff. But with your appearance as well, you want to make sure that you are looking presentable. And I don't feel like we have any of this issue like with our unit or anything, but you don't want to show up like the bag lady. You don't want to carry 87 different things on your arms and have, your sneakers or whatever. You want to make sure that you look presentable. You keep your inventory in your car, and then you bring in typically your starter kit, or if you have the rolling tote like I do, you have that, and one other bag. And so that's everything you need to bring into the party, and you leave all of the other stuff in your car. And so at the end, when you're closing people out and they're purchasing from you, then you go out to the car, grab everybody's orders, and deliver them. So that's kind of before the party. Then we have the beginning of the party where you're setting up. If it's at someone's house and they're like having a good time and talking, you want to try and make small talk with them. But when you show up at the door, you are smiling, you're happy, you're greeting everybody. I set up super quick, and then I try to kind of get involved in the conversation, because when you go to somebody else's house, you're in their space, you're the outsider. So you in some way need to make an effort to become an insider and get involved with what's going on, because you want them to buy into what you're doing. You want them to like you. And so especially when you want to maximize everything, you want to make sure that they like you, that you're fun, and that you have something in common with them so that they can relate to you. But first impressions are everything. So as you're setting up and people are walking in, give them a compliment. Or, if they're starting to talk about something, like I always try to make some kind of conversation, asking them questions, things like that. So I'm not just like the stranger in the corner setting up and not saying a word. I'm involved. I'm looking at them, making eye contact, all of that stuff. Then if you're using the flip chart, that is going to help create that flow for you to keep yourself on track and have a steady party. Now, Brandy and I, when we made the flip chart that's on her website, we had to make a lot of changes as far as what our structure was with our parties, because we used to do the whole skincare class from start to finish up with foundation, then do the marketing game, then do the referral game, then do the bag close, then do the individual closing. And that we felt like was like back to back to back to back stuff. So we even had changed to put the marketing in the beginning. And so as a part of that flip chart, it's in the beginning, but it helps break up that flow a little bit. So I started doing that in DIQ just because in DIQ I needed to get some team members to meet the requirements to finish. So I wanted that to be kind of on the forefront and kind of be what they were thinking about as they watched me do my skincare class. Because like I said, in that skincare class, you don't want to just get the sale. There's so much other things going on that you can get out of that skincare class with it not just being the share or not just being the sale. And so one thing we know, we need to be doing shares in order to get team members. But if we're not doing any kind of marketing, we're not going to get the people to be interested in doing the shares. So doing that purse game that's on that flip chart is ideal and perfect if you have 4 or more people. But what do you do if you don't have 4 or more people? You still talk about the elements of the marketing as if you're talking about yourself. So what I do is when there's not 4 or more people and I'm not playing the actual purse game for marketing, I just, in my intro, as I'm doing my iStory, as I'm talking about the company's facts and things like that, I just let them know that I'm going to tell them a little bit about what I do. And then I just share the elements. It's super easy when you are using that flip chart because you can still just have that information readily available to you. But if you don't use the flip chart, then of course you just give them your information. But I recommend the flip chart. Then I do the skincare up until we finish with the satin lips. So all I have left is the foundation primer and the foundation, and I'm going to get referrals before I do foundation primer and foundation. So I get those referrals, which that video of what I say is on Brandy's website. But I feel like a lot of people say, oh, well, some people don't like to give their info. That's totally fine. I don't make a big deal out of it. There's been many times at a party where I've had one lady sit there and not write anybody's names. But that doesn't mean everybody else doesn't write names. So I don't even give them an option to talk. They just sit there and do it. I give my spiel about saying, hey, this is the fabulous game. We all feel fabulous right now. We look fabulous. We want that fabulousness to continue. And so one way that you can do this is by extending that to your friends and your family. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this around. You're going to write your name and the date at the bottom. I use the fabulous referral sheets. If you're using the back of the profile, that's totally fine too. You just say turn the profile card over. But this is my referral sheet. You're going to put down your name and date. Then I'm going to pass it out. I'm only going to give you one song, and you're going to write down as many women that you feel like would love a free pampering session. And so what I do is I call or I text them. I let them know that this is a free gift from you on your behalf, and they get the pampering session as well as a gift card. So it makes you feel really good because you're gifting them. It doesn't cost you anything, and it makes them feel really good too because you're thinking about them. So they have to be, within an hour radius, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then I tell them, okay, ready, set, go. I also include, of course, I'm doing the tickets for the end. I tell them that they're getting X amount of tickets for X amount of names. Or if I'm just doing that as one of the games, because maybe I only have 3 people or less, then I tell them, okay, the person with the most names at the end is going to get a gift card. And so I say, okay, ready, set, go. Play that music. And I'm cleaning up. I'm leaving their towels because they might want to not wash their hands, but might want to use it to take off the foundation because we haven't done that yet. But I'm picking up, putting away most of my products, getting stuff ready and together and a little bit more organized. And I don't say anything to them. I'm playing that whole song. I don't care if they're all sitting there doing nothing. I'm not talking to them. I don't make eye contact with them. I try to even turn around and play with my starter kit or something. And of course, if I look back and halfway through the song, they're all done and ready to stop, then I stop the song. And I say, okay, time to finish, down your last name, and then I move on. Now, if at the end of that song, they're still writing a bunch of names down, I'll let another song play. And I make a big deal out of it. Oh, you guys are writing so much. Okay, so I'm going to be really nice, and I'm going to let another song go because y'all are still writing. Whatever. So I never leave a party with less than 50 referrals. Like, I probably got, I haven't even counted yet, but I probably got, 150 referral names just from my parties yesterday that I did. I only make 100 booking attempts in a week. So having those and maximizing that is going to keep that momentum building and building and building for you to never run out of leads. Now, I'm a big, firm believer on you have to have multiple sources of your leads because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So I love doing other lead generating things, and then I save my referrals to like pad my numbers, so to speak. So when I do my bookings each week, I set a goal. Each week I'm going to do 100 bookings. Now maybe your goal is 50 or whatever. If I've picked up facial bags and I've got 12 leads from facial bags, those are my first leads that I contact. I do all my other leads first, and then any extras leading up to that goal of mine for being 100 booking attempts, then I use the rest for referrals. So I save my referrals for last. If referrals are all you have right now, then use your referrals. But you want to have enough to make sure that you have enough leads to contact for your goals for bookings. Booking, booking, booking. That's like, if you don't do anything else with your business, but for that week, besides holding parties, make your bookings. And you have to have leads to do that. So referrals, I would rather have referrals than anything else in a party. And so then I finish up with, of course, the skincare or the foundation primer and the foundation. But what I love to do is I love to tell them, and I believe it's built into the flip chart, is I love to show them what my skincare routine is. So usually I do that after the referral game. I say, okay, everyone stop, hand me the referral sheets, and then I say, okay, great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what my routine is for my skincare before we get to the little bit of cosmetic items that we're going to do. I'm going to show you what I do on my routine, because all this stuff on your trays that we just did, this is not what we do every day. So, and I show them. Everyday dermatologists, remember, they say we need to do 5 things to our skin: cleanse, exfoliate, tone, protect, moisturize. So I pull out my miracle set, because that's what I want to sell. People, you want to make sure that you are selling sets. Individual items here or there at parties is great. You're still going to make money, but where you're going to maximize that is by selling sets. And so that full miracle set, you're gonna, that's where we get that $100 per face, because the miracle set is $95 by itself. So I show them that miracle set. I'm like glorifying that set. And I show them my 3 steps in the morning and my 3 steps at night. And I say everything else is supplemental, because let's face it, most women are too overwhelmed with too many things. And if we just show them the set sheet with all of, the everything bag, the ultimate set, then the miracle set and the basic set at the bottom, but we don't explain to them what they really need and visually show them that, then they're going to look at the sets. Maybe they do buy the everything set, but then they're not going to really know what to do with it. And so I want to make sure that I'm giving people a visual of what they can do on a regular basis. So since I've been doing that, my numbers on the amount of miracle sets that I do sell have skyrocketed, just because I'm letting them know this is the ideal package for you. Everything else is add-ons. So only about 20% statistically of women can handle those extra add-ons, but the miracle set is what I want to sell. So I do that. Then I do the color, which is the foundation, primer, and foundation, and then I'm focused on my closing. It's super important to have a visual on your a bag close. Each and every person at that party should have a set sheet, whether it's laminated or you put it in a sleeve protector. You want them to have that set sheet in front of them. If you're using the flip chart, it does have a set sheet there, but that should not be the only set sheet that they use. They need one in front of them. And we know, do not pass out lookbooks. Lookbooks are not the set sheets. You want the actual set sheets, which that will also be added to my website, but it's on Brandy's now to print off. And so with that set sheet, it's still very simple, only 4 choices to choose from. And then I have the bag filled with the products. So that's another visual that I love to use. And again, I'm glorifying that bag, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, guys, take a look at this bag. It's amazing. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. And I open it all up. It's got all the products. I fill it with the ultimate miracle set, just because I can't pack everything in there. So I fill mine with the ultimate miracle set. And again, the bag close is on Brandy's website too. I'll be uploading it to mine soon. And I go through showing them on the bag. Now, that's a little bit tricky because that means that you have to memorize the sets. And so whenever I'm doing the bag close, I use words like you instead of I or instead of the. So I start with the ultimate set because I want that to, or the everything bag, because I want that to be the first thing that they pay attention to. And so I say, okay, the very first set here, we have the I deserve it all set. That's literally every single thing that you tried today. And so what that means is it's everything you see here in your travel roll-up bag, and it includes literally everything else that we tried today as well. So you are going to get with this set the Miracle set, the Microderm set, the eye cream, the eye makeup remover. Well, I guess I should say your eye makeup remover, your eye cream, your satin hand set, your brush, go through the whole thing, and you get the bag for free. So it retails for $420, but you get it today for $299. Now I say dollars on the full retail amount, but then when I get to the sale amount, I don't say $299. I say you get it today for $299. So in their mind, they're hearing $420. That's a lot. But $299, oh, that's not so bad. And so then I go down to the next set, and I'm like, so you're losing on this set, this item, this item, this item, this item. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, do you really want to lose that? And then I go down to the Miracle set, and I let them know that's your 3 steps in the morning and your 3 steps at night. And then we also include your choice of foundation. And then I go down to the basic set. Now for me, I do offer a payment plan. And so we joke and say it's the Honey Don't Know plan. I offer them that payment plan only on the top 3 sets. But I always make sure to get their credit card info, and I run that credit card, and they cannot pay with a different credit card. They have to pay with that credit card again that next time around. If they just want to give me cash and then they're like, oh, and then can we make the payment later? I don't do it. I at least run $20 on that card to make sure that it's a working card. That's, again, a whole nother training. So now I go to my individual close. But before I do that, I've already scoped out where I want that individual close to be, because I don't want them to tell me, oh, well, we can all just close out here at the table. You just say, oh, well, that's great, but maybe people have some questions, and that's how I want to make sure that everybody gets me to themselves individually so that I can just check on everybody's skin and get them their goodie bags. And I've already got all my stuff over in the dining room or over in the living room or whatever. And so when I get to a party, a part of what I bring, sorry guys, I'm jumping all around because I'm trying to go fast since we were delayed. But I bring I don't even know if you can see this, my basket. And in my basket, this is like my closing station. So I have this comes from 31, which here's my plug for our party on the 29th. I've got stuff for my closing. I've got my gift cards. I put my pen in here. I have everything ready to go for that, so that stays there. I've got my Hostess goodie bags and my regular goodie bags. I've got my, what are these? Opportunity packets, or I don't even, why am my mind is going. So this is if they're interested in the opportunity. I have these pre-ready for them. So even though I schedule a share, I'm giving them this. This is information about the business for them to read. And then I have my Hostess packets all ready to go in one location. And so when they come to me individually, I'm very strategic about how I'm talking to them. So before they even sit down, I'm saying some kind of compliment. Oh my gosh, that foundation looks so good on you. Or, oh, I really like your nail polish. Or, I love that top on you. It looks so cute. Something to ease that tension, because you just pulled them out of their comfort. You pulled them away from their friends, and you're going to talk to them individually. And so I make sure to kind of ease that because hopefully they already like me, but I want them to continue to like me. And so then I sit with them. I'd never sit across from them. I always sit side to side. And I say, oh my gosh, did you have fun today? And I'm shaking my head, yes. And they're like, yes. And I say, how does your skin feel? Every single person that gets asked these questions, did you have fun today? How does your skin feel? And I'm touching my skin. And they're like, oh my gosh, amazing. And I say, I know, right? Everything is so amazing. I love it. I'm constantly talking about how much I love it. And so then I say, okay, so here's the set sheet just to use as a reference. So I also make sure I bring a set sheet with me. And I say, tell me every single product today that you tried that you absolutely loved. And on the backs of their profile sheets, I'm writing those products down. So for me, I use these printed ones just because they're easy. I never remember to order the profile cards off the website. These I can print out in my house if I run out. And so I just turn it over on the back. I don't even pay attention to the quiz questions that I asked about the shares or their second appointment. I don't pay any attention to that. I just flip it right over. And I'm writing down what they like. So this person says, I love the lip mask, I love the microderm, I love the cleanser. So I'm like, okay, that's so awesome. Yeah, I love those items too. Okay, and so then I say, so based on what you love, it's looking like this set would be the right set for you, but you know your situation better than I do. So are you leaning more towards one set or the other, or is there just some individual items that you want to take home with you today? I don't say that you want to buy. I don't say that you want to purchase. I say that you want to take home today. And so then they're like, yeah, actually, I really like this set, but maybe I want this set, or I just can't make up my mind. I don't know, or maybe I should just get the microderm, whatever. I'm not talking to them during that time. I'm letting them kind of sort it out. Now, if it drags on and they're like, well, maybe this one, maybe that, whatever, then I'll be like, okay, so tell me what you love out of this set. If they're going back and forth between one set or the other, tell me what you love out of this set that's not in this set. And so then they might, usually it's the primer or the brush. Like those are the two things that everybody loves, or the satin lips that's not in the ultimate set. And so then I let them know I can swap things out. How invested are you in the bag? And so I'll be like, okay, well, instead of the bag, do you want the microderm? Or not the microderm, do you want the foundation primer? And they're like, oh, yeah, that's great. And so I just kind of try to customize them. So, or I say, if you want everything, we can add that to it. And so they're like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do that, or whatever. And so I'm writing the sales out on the sales slip. Let's say they want the ultimate set. Now, here's where I was going in the past. In the past, if they wanted the ultimate set, I got super excited because that's $199. And I was like, yay, I made $100 profit. So I write down ultimate set and I said, okay, great. Are you going to do cash or card? And I never ask anything else. But now I've learned, I say, okay, so you're going to get the ultimate set. Is there anything else that's not in this set that you would like to add to this? Anything else? What else do you want? I keep asking them. Okay, what else do you want to take home with you? I see you said that you liked the lip mask, but that's not in the ultimate set. Would you like me to add that to your order? And so I'm continuing to do that until they say, nope, that's it. That's all I want. Then I'm closing them out. And so since I've been doing that, I've been able to really maximize my sales. So that's the first thing that I do in my close. That's the first question of order of business I want to get rid of and take care of. I run their card and everything. Now I'm looking at what they said as far as the opportunity goes. So here on this, we asked them a number. So this person said a 7. So if you can see, she's watching the Monday night video. So then I talk about the share. If she put B or however, whatever you're asking, A, B, or C, and she put B, I say, okay, tell me what a B means to you. What does B mean? If they put 7, I say, okay, tell me what a 7 means to you. If they say, I just don't have the money right now, then I'm overcoming that objective. If they say, oh, I just don't know, I'm a little shy, blah, 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 whatever. Then I'm overcoming that objective. And so when you ask them, what does that mean to them? Even a C. I wasn't asking anybody who put like that they don't want to sell Mary Kay. I wasn't asking them anything. I was just saying, oh, okay, they don't want to sell Mary Kay, but I never asked them what that meant to them. And during DIQ, I was noticing when I was asking them those questions, they put that, but to them it meant they don't think that they could be good enough, or they don't have the confidence or whatever. So I ask everybody now, what does that mean to you? And I'm able to either make that into a 10 or make that into an A and get them signed on the spot, or I'm able to get that to turn into a share. Now with you guys, when you're doing it, you're going to get them to do a share with me and you. Whereas once you feel comfortable with that and you want to start doing your shares on your own, then you can do that too. But in the meantime, do them with me. And so that's the second thing that I'm doing. Asking them what that means to them and talking in relation to the share once I've taken care of the sale. Then the next thing, which is the one thing that I feel like is the biggest change that I've been able to do, is in that second appointment. I used to never really pay any attention to second appointments. But since I've been making it an effort and just adding it into my closings, I now have second appointments like out the wazoo. So then I look, and we say, okay, you want it with friends, which is pretty much the same questions on the flip chart that you write on the back of the profile cards. But this person wanted to do second appointment with friends. And so before, what I was doing was, because I was trying to rush out, blah, 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 was not really spending my time with them. I was like, okay, great. So would you like to schedule this now, or would you like me to contact you with some available dates in the future? And they would be like, oh, yeah, I got to look at my cat. Contact me later. And so I was like, great, I'll contact them later. And then nothing would happen. But now I don't even ask that question. And I say, okay, great. So here's my availability. Let me show you my calendar of what I have open for second appointments. So I'm going to try and maneuver here and show you. This is October, so I've already got highlighted. So I open up my whole month of when I have my appointments. So hopefully you can see that. And I say to them, okay, so I usually hold my appointments during the week or on Fridays. Anywhere where there's a pink highlighter is what I still have open. And so I'm like, if it's at the beginning of the month, I only schedule two weeks out. So I'm like, okay, so I've got, Tuesday the 11th, or would you like a Friday? And so they're like, oh, let's do a Friday. So I'm like, okay, great. So I've got Friday the 14th. Do you want 6 p.m. or 7 p.m.? 7 p.m. Giving them choices until I finalize it. And then I write their name right there. And then I say, okay, great. So I'm going to give you your hostess packet. Here's your hostess packet. I'm going to write the date on the front. Or if you use the cute cellophane bags, you can't write the date on the front. There's a spot for you to write it in here. And these will also be on my website. And so I write that in. And then I tell them, I'm going to contact you tomorrow with your picture invite with all of your information on it, and see if there's any questions that you have once you've looked at the packet or whatever. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. This hostess plan, I think, is the most simple. It's the best one that I've found. I've used tons and tons and tons of them. And this is the one that Mary Kay Ash used herself. So why am I going to change it if it worked for her? And so I give them that. If I have time and there's not a whole lot of people and I'm not needing to rush out to get to another party, I'll pull it out and actually just show them real quick. But usually I'm like, okay, great. Your party, we're going to do Friday the 14th at 7. Here's your hostess packet. Go ahead and look it over tonight. I'll contact you tomorrow with the details. And I'll answer any questions you have, and then I'm going to send you that picture invite. That's kind of like what I sent you earlier for this party. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, great. If it's a hostess, or not a hostess, but if it's somebody that was from the lead that I got and I booked them, I've already trained them with that picture invite of what to do. If it's a guest of the hostess that came for the skincare party, then they already know kind of what to do with the picture invite because they received the picture invite. So I've already coached the first party, and then I've coached that second party too. And so I give them that. And my books, I could show you, like going back, are like filled up with those second appointments. Then I run out, grab all their products at the same time, or if they have to leave individually, I do it individually, but grab all their products, give them their products, and then I make sure to follow up with them after. But making sure that that individual close is there and asking those questions in the way that I've done with that little bit of change, having my availability there. I mean, gosh, I probably heard that since I was a brand new consultant, but never really did that for my second appointment, has like majorly changed. My sales have gone higher, and the number of bookings that I'm getting have gone higher. So, and my shares even. So whenever you walk away from a party, you want to make sure that you're getting the referrals, the sale, the shares, and the second bookings. So there's 4 chances for you to win. I love that because if one of those doesn't happen, you still have many more options to go by with wins from that party. So nothing ever comes back void. Nothing ever is a bust in Mary Kay. Whenever you've done that effort and you put that time in, you have some sort of reward out there if you've maximized that and if you've done it like full out and the way that you're supposed to, truly focusing and maximizing. So I know that was like a ton of information, and really I felt like I ran off on a tangent, but I really wanted to focus on that closing and those questions. So hopefully you are able to tweak something that you felt like maybe you weren't doing. Hopefully you've reaffirmed yourself in what you've been doing, and take something away from this to help you with your skincare classes be a little bit more confident. And so what I want you to do is make sure that you text me that you watched the video by noon tomorrow to get credit for being on and watching. And I want you to text me one thing that you feel like you are most confident in your skincare classes. Is that the coaching? Is it the flow of the skincare classes? Is it your referrals? Is it the bag close? Or is it the individual close? Where do you feel like you're most confident in? So text me that to let me know that you did watch this and get entered into the Google Hangout raffle. Have a great night.